Welcome to Out of Office, Field Visits with Austin Kennedy. Wright Service Corp is a prominent leader in several environmental services, providing integrated vegetation management, forest management and reforestation, technology solutions, sustainability solutions, and more. Join me as we visit the Wright family of companies' job sites across North America, from Canada to Puerto Rico, and right here in our own backyard, Des Moines, Iowa. Welcome to sunny Eldora, Iowa. Thanks for joining for another episode of Out of Office with Austin Kennedy. Today, we are focusing on Eocene Environmental Group and a brownfield restoration project. Thanks for tuning in. All right, Mr. Ben Curtis, welcome to Out of Office with Austin Kennedy. We're here today in Eldora, Iowa, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what our project is?
So Eldora, Iowa is one of our many communities we help throughout the Midwest, primarily assist with the implementation of EPA Brownfield grants. This one in particular is an assessment grant, which means the EPA allows the city to work with private and public partners to address potential contamination at various properties around the community. A lot of old schools were built with asbestos-containing materials. It was a very popular building material in the time, and as you might be aware, there's some health concerns, public health concerns with breathing in asbestos fibers.
What are we trying to help the community do as an end result with this contaminated property?
Yeah, for sure. So the end goal with any brownfield property, contaminated or not, is just to breathe some life into it to find a potential new use for it, right?
So what's your role with Eocene?
Yeah, so I'm a project manager. I've been with the company about 4 years. My role there, just as project manager, is to make sure any field work, any grant administration, anything related to the program goes through me to make sure it goes off well, keep the clients happy, to keep projects moving, and importantly, get developers and private properties interested in the program as a way to fund additional work and make sure we're addressing some of the underutilization in some of these properties.
Where'd you go to school? Why were you interested in this line of work, and how did you wind up with Eocene?
Yeah, so I did my undergraduate degree at Drake University in environmental policy. Really loved the policy side, but as I continued my career with the DNR, with the public health department, I started to learn I wanted to be less policy and actually doing more of the field work and exactly what we're doing today. Next step in my career was to the University of Iowa, where I got my master's degree in city and regional planning.
Okay.
That program really instilled in me these policies and these rules and regulations exist for a reason.
I assume that there are some safety related concerns in some of these contaminated brownfield projects. What are some of the things that we're aware of today, and what are we going to do to try to mitigate some potential hazards?
So with all of our brownfield sites, there's a degree of there could be contamination. Either soil, groundwater, if we're dealing with building materials that might have asbestos or lead-based paint. We try to mitigate those with, just like we had this morning, a quick debrief on the concerns. We make sure we're, in gear like this, exactly. We've got our hearing protection, eye protection, hard hat, PPE, boots, high vis, all that good stuff.
Well, let's head inside and get a little bit more into the project.
Awesome.
All right, Leon, we find ourselves here in a stuffy former high school gymnasium, working on a brownfield restoration project here. But tell me how this all began. Like, how did you become interested in the environmental services industry, and what was your educational path that got you here?
Yeah, so I attended Simpson College, got a degree in environmental science, got in contact with my supervisor, who is actually a close friend of my wife's, and from there, he offered me a job. I did a bunch of certifications, asbestos, lead, those sort of things, and then, hit the ground running, and I've been working here for about 6 years.
Could you help our audience understand what would be some of the common environmental contamination concerns in a property like this?
Yeah, so prior to 1980, there was a substantial amount of hazardous materials that were put into building products. One of those that we're concerned about today is asbestos. So a lot of the buildings that we are inspecting are, pre-1980, and those are going to be big concerns for us, especially for the public.
What do we do to analyze it or to determine whether there is a problem?
Yep, so with asbestos specifically, we do physical sampling. So there's only one way to find asbestos, and that is to remove a small piece of it, send it to a laboratory. They will pretty much incinerate it, and then the only thing that's left is the asbestos fibers, and then they can give us a pretty good idea of whether or not and how much is in there.
What stage are we at with this building?
So we're in the initial phases with this one. We've done a phase 1 environmental site assessment, and that did notify us that let us know that this building was built prior to 1980. The phase 1, one of the things that we're doing is looking for the age of the building, and then the phase 2 is what do you do after that? Once you know the problems, let's go solve it. Okay. And that's what we're doing here today is we're going to find the bad stuff and get rid of it.
What are some of the common safety concerns that would be presented by a project like this?
Yeah, so the material sampling that I do could potentially release fibers, and then you could inhale those fibers. And so we do ongoing training, and it's on a weekly, monthly, and annual training for any sort of hazardous materials that we're going to run into. So we will use respirators. We use wet techniques, which is spraying it down with water, which they found the best way to handle those sort of things. The main reason we are here is for safety, and so that's the main thing that we want to focus on.
Like, what is the ultimate goal with what we're doing here with the Brownfield project?
Yeah, so with Brownfield projects, the whole idea is to kind of remove the hurdles for redevelopment. It can be very expensive. This is a very large structure to do an asbestos inspection in this. So what we are doing is we are removing that hurdle so that way a prospective purchaser and redeveloper of a space like this can come in and not be quite so overwhelmed by the cost.
So Leon, what do you enjoy most about your job?
I'm a small town Iowa boy, and I've seen kind of some of these buildings start to deteriorate, and I would love to see new life put into these. So it's not hard for me to roll out of bed and to come here and help redevelopment, and also to protect the community that I work in.
Leon, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciated your providing us a view into the world of asbestos inspection. All right, Megan Down, welcome to Out of Office with Austin Kennedy. We're here in beautiful, hot Eldora, Iowa for a brownfield restoration project. Tell me, how did you get involved with the environmental sciences industry? What was kind of your background and interest and educational path?
Well, I was, from a very young age, I was very interested in rocks. It came from my dad. He bought me a old dilapidated rock book.
Okay.
And taught me what quartz looked like, and then sent me outside to the sandbox, which kept me busy for hours. Decided to major in geology at Iowa State University.
How long have you been with the company?
I have been with Eocene for 11 years now, and in the environmental consulting industry for about 21 years.
Okay, and what do you enjoy about this job?
Well, I always liked the thought that I was helping to clean up the environment instead of make it dirty.
So here we are on a brownfield project. What is sort of the ultimate end result that we're trying to achieve in this process that we're working on here today?
Yeah, for our clients, we're really trying to protect them from any liability. If you don't do your due diligence on a site and later find out there's contamination on your property, you could be held liable for cleaning it up. And just keep in mind that brownfields aren't necessarily always contaminated.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's dilapidated buildings, it's buildings that are run down. We're really here just to do that investigation and make sure that there is nothing here that could cause an issue for our client down the road.
And in general terms, what's kind of the ultimate goal that we're hoping ends up with a project like this?
Well, like you said, redevelopment. That's really the core of brownfield projects, to get rid of those dilapidated buildings that no one's using, to reuse that land, that space, get it back on the tax roll, and just make the neighborhood look better.
Megan, do you have a specialty?
Leaking underground storage tanks.
What goes into the analysis? How do we actually determine that something is there that's of concern? And how do we go about analyzing it?
You know that stuff you use to fill up your car and make it go?
Is that
Every
gasoline?
single gas station has underground storage tanks. You also find a lot of underground storage tanks for heating oil. For some reason they leak. You're going to be doing soil groundwater sampling and investigating them to basically clean them up and get them back to the point where it's not causing health issues for people. We go out into the field and we'll collect our soil samples, our groundwater samples. They get sent to a lab. We have a drill rig where we collect samples from under the ground. We're looking for obvious signs of contamination. So we're looking for different weird, strange colors, odors. We also have what's called a PID meter, which measures for volatile organic compounds. It's a screening tool that lets us know where to sample in the soil column and where to collect those samples for analysis.
Megan, love the story from the sandbox to this career, being a professional environmental steward, if you will. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Jackson Deutsch, welcome to Out of Office with Austin Kennedy. Tell us about your role with Eocene.
So I'm a drilling technician. Been here August to be 3 years. Just been running this rig. We've got 2 other rigs. Just kind of been doing that.
What sort of certifications do you need to be able to run this?
To haul this probe, we got our CDLs, and then after 2 years of experience, you can get your Iowa water well or contractor license.
Yep.
So I got that, and then I'm licensed in Kansas too.
You refer to this rig that we have behind us. What in the world is this? What do we do with this?
So this is a geoprobe. It'll take core samples. Deepest we've gone with this is 50 foot. We install water wells, like test wells, stuff like that.
What are you going to do with that, and then what's the purpose of it all?
So today we're just going to take some soil, and then they're going to go through and analyze it. Then we're going to install water wells, little temp wells, and they can go through and test the contaminants in the water, if there is any.
Jackson, tell me, how many people does it take to run this rig?
Normally 2. Just having somebody running the levers, and then somebody throwing rods or augers on.
Okay.
Just kind of a safety aspect too.
I suspect that dealing with machinery like this occasionally presents some safety-related concerns.
Yep.
What are some common ones that you want to be most aware of, and what do we do to mitigate those?
Pretty much just staying out of the way. When we get the augers rolling, I mean, that's continuous spinning. We have emergency shutoff switches all over the probe, multiple of them. You just pretty much watch where you're at all times.
Yeah.
You just don't want to be in front of it or behind it when it's moving.
Right.
So
how'd you get in this line of work?
I graduated high school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. My dad was a PM for the company at the time, and he said, come try this out. So I did, and never left.
Nice. And what do you most enjoy about it?
I love how different every day is.
Yeah.
You're always someplace new. We're all over the Midwest. I don't mind traveling. It's great, meeting new people. The clients are great. It's awesome being outside too.
And what a beautiful day.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
All right, folks, thanks for joining for another episode of Out of Office with Austin Kennedy. Today, we have been in sunny Eldora, Iowa, and focusing on the Eocene Environmental Group and a brownfield restoration project. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with more episodes soon.